Planning for next week's Quad meeting in Sydney have been ditched after the US President Joe Biden postponed due to the ongoing US debt negotiations.
But just how damaging could the decision be for US foreign policy in the region, and why has the stalemate on US federal budgets now become an annual battle? Our American in Oz, Sara James, joins us. Good morning,
Good
Sarah.
morning.
How long have we got?
Yeah.
Well, yes, it's looking like doomsday is June 1st, according to the Treasury Secretary. And I should just point out first that, firstly, that people like the Treasury Secretary are not known for hyperbole. So when we hear words like catastrophe, calamity, coming from the Treasury Secretary of the United States, we really are talking about quite a dire situation. And the obsession of the United States with the view from the cliff is something that's troubling.
That sense of complete dysfunction going on in America then feeds into the criticism of the postponement of this visit.
Yes.
It's like, well, how do we rely on this joint over there that just can't get its own act together?
Yeah, I mean, let's point out one thing, first of all, that it's a factor of divided government,
Yep.
correct? I mean, you know, so here we just don't have that issue happen because of the nature of the political systems, the parliamentary system versus the system in the U.S. But you're absolutely right that if we're going from a situation in which the president is going to be speaking to Parliament and going to Papua New Guinea, and they're declared a national holiday and gone to such enormous trouble and expense, it is a black eye for the United States, which has been working really hard to prove that the Indo-Pacific is an area of great interest to the United States, of regional and strategic and indeed, let's say, military significance, and countering China's reach and growing presence in the region. And this was supposed to be really quite a celebration of that, and instead the opposite is true.
Yeah, the Prime Minister was looking forward, understandably, to hosting the leaders at the Opera House. So how much, in your view, is the postponement of the Quad, it'll happen at some stage down the track, a blow to this effort to build up this, I guess, strategic bulwark against China in the region? Is it too much of a backward step, or could it just be a blip? Because meetings will happen. The Prime Minister's going to America later in the year. He's been invited to the White House for a state dinner. Not to be understated, that is very important for any country. How big a deal is it, though, in your view?
I do think it's a big deal, but I do not think it's one that is insurmountable.
Yep.
In other words, it's going to be on the United States to get through this. I mean, the next few weeks are really crucial. So I don't think there was a choice for the president, given the economic fallout that would happen around the world if the U.S. defaults. I don't think there was a choice for the president at this moment. So then what has to happen are two things. Number one, get that crisis resolved back in Washington because of the economic significance. And then secondly, do the reach out, and this administration is good at that, to the leaders involved. Here's something to remember. The interests of these nations that form the Quad, they haven't suddenly disappeared because the meeting has been postponed. Those interests align. So that's why I think this is more of a short-term than a long-term situation. But awkward, yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Bad
and
luck.
China would be, you know.
Well, there's no question that, you know, one of the things that China has done very successfully in recent years is to do reach outs in the Pacific Islands. And yes, you want to be shown to be somebody, well, and indeed, again, getting back to the Treasury Secretary, she has been among those, Janet Yellen, pointing out that this isn't just a blow economically, it is a blow to the global leadership. For all those people who invest in T-bills, Treasury bills, and the like, a lot of the world is invested in the U.S. economy. So that's why this is so significant.
Sara James, thanks always
Pleasure.
for putting things into context for us.
Thank you. Great to be here.